Paul, news out of Dallas today that Pete DeBoer was let go. Your thoughts on that?
He'll be all right. He's a good coach. You know, I think you get elite teams, you got to push them real hard to get to where they get to, and then at some point, you need a summer off, pick your spot. He's going to be okay.
Left side all the way in the back.
Paul, it's a common theme for you guys throughout the playoffs of getting to your game, playing your style of game. What do you think you got away from in Game 1, if at all, that it needs to be better in Game 2?
Yeah, and I understand the question. But the foundation of that question is if you just play your game, then you would win. 82-0 is probably not what you would expect, right? So I'm being careful with the answer. We do think there's a few things that we can do a little bit better. And we do a couple of those things a little bit better. It'll change some of the things, but I don't have the chances for and against as a necessary negative for the Florida Panthers and zone time. So the game was 3-3 after 3. It's probably fair. I think that's probably a just score. The two best teams, we think we can get a little bit better. There's probably some things they're going to want to get a little better at, but I don't think there's going to be sustained domination in this series.
Left side, fourth row. Jamison.
Pass the mic.
Coach, first, any updates on AJ Greer?
Yeah, he's on track, but he won't go tonight. But we think if he tracks out, he'll be available at Game 3.
How different is that fourth line? You have Jesper there. Obviously, Jesper probably more speed. AJ maybe a little bit more grit.
I don't know. There's not more grit. He's just a bigger man, right? Like Bo plays a hard game, but there's the difference sometimes when you're 6'4", whatever you are, 210, 220. So it's a different style of hockey, but no team runs. Your fourth line is almost never the same all year, right? Just because somebody gets pulled on injuries, that's just the way it goes. So the effectiveness of that line, we have as high an expectation with Jesper in as we do with AJ.
Left side, third row.
Paul, I know they scored the game winner in overtime on the power play, but how did you feel your PK did against their group in Game 1?
I thought it was all right. I thought there were parts of it that were real good. But I think on that power play, you're taking all right. Right? You're not. We got a pretty good PK in this playoffs, and that's going to be probably the most dynamic power play that you'll face. So take all right sometimes.
Right side, third row, David.
Hey, Paul. It came down to one shot overtime. How different is your keynote messaging to your team coming off a loss as opposed to, let's say, you had won in overtime in Game 1?
I think the video yesterday would have been identical. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that because I haven't spent any time thinking like we won the last game. I don't know. I'm trying to answer it truthfully. I don't know how much different it would be. The hockey part of it isn't going to change. Like the places that we need to get better in our game, that the truth is in the video, so that this is the piece that we need to get better. That won't be. And then tone. The tone will be a collection of Game 2s. We've lost some Game 1s, we won some Games 1, so there'll be a collection of that tone. I'll just move around the room. I got a fairly good idea where they're at right now. So I kind of start setting that today. I know the technical piece, but the emotional piece, that'll kind of come to you before the meeting.
Right side, third row.
Hey, Paul. Playing with Leeds, your team's obviously been excellent at it. The Oilers are a good comeback team as well. I'm not sure if your team's supposed to play different when they have the lead, but is there a different strategy needed against the Oilers when you're leading them just because of what they have?
Oh, so I think there's 14 minutes on the clock in the second period, and it's 3-2. I don't feel that we have the lead at that point. That we're like you're not hanging on because that's going to be 54 minutes, 52 minutes of hockey that you're going to try to hang on to. Where if you win that game, you say you held the lead because you won in overtime. It doesn't change the way. I think the team that's behind it will try to stay with their game as long as they can, but there comes a point in time where all the D are up the ice. They're always down the wall. You might have 4 in. You are putting that puck. The higher risk plays start to come out. I don't think that if you're wired like that, that you're playing in June. Like, I don't think that you get down a goal in the playoffs and your game changes because now let's put our down. I'm not trying to mock your question. I'm just trying to take it to an extreme. You get down a couple goals. All right, fellas, now it's time to go to our other style of play. Like, you wouldn't be here if you were switching styles based on every time the score changed. You just wouldn't be here, right? You need 1,000 lives to teach that many games, right? Your team can only play one way. There's some things that you do change later in a game, and that's just risk profile. You change your risk profile as the game goes on, and you're chasing it. That's all.
Right side, second row.
Paul, you guys have obviously a long flight back home tomorrow, and I'm just curious, A, how much travel has changed since you've been doing this, and B, how important that time is on the plane for a team to have, because they're kind of a captive audience. And
yeah. Well, somebody asked me that if I show video or speeches on the plane. There's none. My first year in the league was the first year teams started to charter. So I've heard the horror stories of the 6 a.m. connecting flights from Vancouver to New York. Like that life, that must have been so hard. I don't know how those guys do it. The long flights for us, and I'm going to include Edmonton in this, we're used to that. I mean, we fly 3.5 hours to teams in our division. So that part's not an issue. They feed us real well. Some guys play cards. We eat like 7 meals a day, right? Like, so it's as good and as easy as it possibly can be, right? You take the bus, you get off the bus, you get into the same seat. You can do whatever you need to do. It's actually a really good place to get work done because you can sit, you can take 5.5 hours to go through tonight's game and take my time with it. So the travel, the two teams that are left are used to it. I think there are other teams that this kind of grind might affect them, but for us, we're both used to it.
We have time for 2 more questions. Left side, third row.
Hey, Paul. Evan Rodriguez was just here talking about when you guys had the lead, he felt that you punted the puck too much. And I was wondering if that was your assessment as well, and if that's an easy fix.
Yeah, I felt that a little bit more even before that happened. That would be a football analogy. Yeah, I don't think that was the decision of the puck carrier. I'm not going to ask him to change a lot of what he does. Just like to change maybe a couple of his options when he does punt the thing. You know, we were past the ball a few times. We were running back to our end when we should have been driving forward, but we got some bad hang time on a couple icings. I'll agree with that. That's it. That's how I feel about that.
Last question, front right.
You told us Greer is not an option. Are there any lineup changes?
Oh, top secret. No, I'm not making any changes. So I'm just going to say game time, but I'm not changing anything.
Thanks for your time,
Sir,
Coach.
you guys have hit your number. I'm out of here.